They say pride can make a man blind, but what happens when pride invites its own disgrace? On the morning of his wedding, a wealthy man invited the ex-wife he once called infertile to sit in the front row, not out of kindness, but to pepper her life. He wanted the whole village of Lina to see her shame. But what walked into that wedding hall was not the broken woman he expected. My people, wait first. Before we continue, I beg, if you love real-life lessons, deep stories, and karma that hits like thunder, like this video. Comment what you think will happen and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the ending. Oh yeah, let's continue. The village of Lina was awake before the sun that day. Drums echoed faintly from the riverside. Market women were already spreading cloth on wooden tables. The air smelt of roasted corn, dust, and excitement. Everyone knew something big was happening. It was Taye's wedding day. In Lina, weddings were not just weddings, they were events. And when the groom was a man like Taye, rich, loud, and proud, the whole village would shake. Taye was the kind of man people noticed even when he said nothing. His cars purred like wild animals. His shoes never touched dust for long. His suits were always sharp, always expensive, always screaming, "I have arrived." When he walked, he lifted his chin like the ground beneath him was too small. People greeted him with wide smiles. "Chairman, Oga Taye, our own big man." And Taye soaked it all in like dry land drinking the first rain. But 7 years earlier, before the money grew louder and the pride grew heavier, there was a woman beside him. Her name was Lina. Lina was not loud. She did not shine like gold. She did not compete for attention. She was calm, gentle, the kind of woman whose presence softened a room without trying. For 7 years, Lina was Taye's wife. She woke before him, she prayed for him, she waited for him late into the night. She built a home that carried peace. But one thing refused to come: a child. Every month came and went like a bird that would not perch. And in Lina, silence in a home was dangerous. At first, Taye pretended it didn't bother him. He would laugh it off in public. "Children will come when they come," he would say. But behind closed doors, his pride was growing heavy, like a calabash filled with stones. One night, the wind paused as if it wanted to listen. Taye came home late. He threw his car keys on the table so hard they bounced. 7 years, he thundered. 7 solid years and nothing to show for it. "My husband," she said softly, "we have tried. Let us go to another hospital. Maybe there is still hope." "Hope?" Taye laughed, but there was no joy in it. "Hope," he scoffed. "Hope cannot carry my name." His words were sharp, cutting like a machete. "What kind of woman are you?" he continued. "You eat my food, you wear my clothes, you live in my house, yet you give me nothing but silence." Lina's eyes filled with tears, but her hands did not shake. "We stood before God," she said. "For better, for worse." Taye turned his back. His heart was hard, sun-baked clay. "Tomorrow, the lawyer will come. This marriage is finished," he said coldly. The moon hid behind a cloud that night. As Lina folded her clothes, each fabric carried a memory: birthdays, church songs, quiet laughter after rain. Taye watched with his arms crossed. Not once did his eyes soften. When Lina was done, she looked at him one last time. "Taye," she said, her voice steady, "you will regret this. One day you will see the truth." He turned his face away as if she were already smoke. Lina walked out of that house with a small bag and a heavy heart. The night air touched her cheeks like a mother's hand. "I may be living with Leto," she whispered, "but I will not be broken. God will fight for me." She walked until her feet carried her to the door of Sola, her old friend from university days. When Sola opened the door and saw her, wrapper tied tight, eyes wide, she gasped, "Lina, what happened? Did someone die?" Lina did not answer. She simply fell into Sola's arms and wept. Inside that small house, safety flickered back to life. Days passed slowly. Food tasted dull, sleep came late and left early. Lina watched the road from Sola's window as if answers might walk by wearing slippers. One afternoon, Sola asked gently, "Have you ever done a full medical test? Proper one?" Lina frowned. "What kind of test?" "A fertility test," Sola said. "And did Taye test himself?" Lina lowered her voice. "He refused. He said I was the problem." Sola stood up sharply.
Enough is enough. Tomorrow we go to Riverlight Clinic. Let the truth come with its own legs. The clinic was cool and quiet. Dr. Mensah ran the tests. Blood was drawn. Machines hummed. 2 days later, Lina sat opposite him, hands clasped. He smiled gently. Lina, your body is healthy. Your womb is sound. She froze. If there was no child for 7 years, he continued, your former husband should be tested. The truth landed softly, but it shook her whole life. All those nights of crying, all the shame, all the blame, it was never her. Outside the clinic, the sky looked bluer. Life began again. Slowly, Lina started helping Sola with cooking. Small plates, small money, honest work. One day she said, I want to cook her people, open a food stand. They began. Pepper met onions, rice met stew, the air filled with spice and hope. Then a man started coming. His name was Rami. Quiet, kind, respectful. He didn't rush her, didn't push. He stood nearby like shade on a hot day. And for the first time in years, her heart felt light. Months passed. Lina and Rami married quietly. No noise, no show. Then the miracle came. Not 1 heartbeat, not 2, but 3. Triplets. The woman called Barren became a mother. Word spread, and far away in a big house with echoing rooms, Taye was planning his wedding to Zola. His pride whispered to him, invite her, let her see what she lost. So he wrote Lina's name, front row.
The golden invitation lay in Lina's hand like a piece of fire. Front row, first seat, carefully written in Taye's bold, proud handwriting. Chai, this guy is safe, Lina muttered under her breath, shaking her head. He really thinks say if it scatter my peace? My people, he don't tell where they see palava, but now today he reach peak. Sola, standing beside her, crossed her arms. I beg, don't let him spoil your calm. Now God get last word. Lina smiled softly. Her 3 little boys clutched her hands, their tiny fingers wrapped around hers like anchors. The oldest, Jude, whispered, Mama, we go see him. She kissed his forehead. Yes, my love, but we go do am like queens, no wahala. By morning, Lumina was buzzing like a pot on fire. Cameras flashed from every corner, journalists and villagers alike filling the hall. Taye's wedding was supposed to be the talk of the town. Red carpet, live band, chandeliers that caught the sunlight like liquid gold. Zola, Taye's new fiancé, was already dressed in a gown that shimmered like moonlight over water. She tried to smile, but her heart thumped nervously. She could feel the weight of the village eyes, and deep down, something whispered, be careful. This is not just a wedding day. Taye strutted in his Ibada suit, white with gold embroidery glinting like fish scales. He checked his watch again and again. Everything had to be perfect. His pride demanded it. But then, the black Rolls Royce slid to the entrance like a quiet river, sleek and unstoppable. The hall hushed. People leaned forward, phones raised instinctively. And Lina stepped out. In a yellow gown that caught the sun, calm and regal. Her sons held her hands, the smallest tugging at the hem of her dress like a secret. Every step she took was measured, quiet, full of dignity. The whispers started immediately. Is that Lina? She has children. Triplets? Taye froze mid-step. His chest tightened. His pride that had carried him so far began to crumble. He couldn't breathe properly. He felt like a peacock whose feathers had been stolen while he slept. Lina walked in slowly. No shouting, no confrontation, no tears. Just calm power like a river that cannot be stopped. Her sons climbed onto her lap in the front row. Jude whispered, Mama, we made it. She smiled, her eyes soft but fierce. Yes, my love, we made it. And today we show the world what truth carries. The crowd couldn't take their eyes off her. Cameras flashed like fireflies, politicians and merchants leaning forward, murmurs rising and falling like waves. Zola turned to Taye, confusion and anger on her face. Who are they? Taye's mouth opened, then closed. He could not speak. They are my ex-wife and her children, someone whispered in the hall.
Zola's voice sharpened like a knife. You told me she was barren. Taye's face went pale. I thought. Thought? Zola's voice caught the air. You never showed me any test. You refused to go to the doctor, and you brought me here to, what, cover your shame? The hall was silent, only the hum of cameras and the whisper of stunned villagers. Lina turned her gaze to Taye. Her voice was steady, calm, full of authority. You called me barren. You threw me out. You made me believe I was less than a woman, but I was never the problem. The truth is here. I am a mother of 3 and I am at peace. The weight of her words hit Taye like a storm. Every single person in the hall saw his pride melt into dust. Zola's bouquet slipped from her hands. Her face went pale. She turned away, walking silently out of the hall. No wedding, no celebration. Only the truth standing where humiliation was meant to be. Lina's sons were playful, innocent. Jude held up a small hand. Mama, them they look angry, he whispered. She chuckled softly. They are learning, my love. Even pride can be taught a lesson. The crowd murmured in awe. Some nodded, some whispered prayers under their breath. Lina did not gloat. She did not shout. She simply sat in the seat Taye had chosen for her, holding her children close. The villagers of Lumina could not stop talking. Cameras captured every moment. The calm queen, the 3 little boys, the man frozen at the altar. Later that evening, after the wedding hall emptied, Taye sat alone on the edge of the stage. The gold embroidery on his suit looked dull, like a sun behind smoke. His mother, Mama Rachel, approached. You threw away a diamond for a stone, she said softly. Taye shook his head. I didn't know. I didn't test myself. I called her cursed. I destroyed her life. Mama Rachel sighed. You have pride, my son, but humility is still far from you. Maybe now you can learn. The next morning, Taye went to the clinic. His results were undeniable. Low sperm count, low motility. The truth that he had hidden for 7 years was finally revealed. He knew he had to see Lina. When he arrived at her small warm home, he stood like a boy caught doing wrong. Lina, he whispered, I was wrong. I destroyed everything. I judged you. I wore pride like a crown, and it hurt you. I'm sorry. Lina folded her arms, calm but firm. You crushed me, Taye. I forgive you, but my life is no longer yours. He bowed his head, tears rolling. I don't deserve forgiveness. I forgive you, she said simply, voice like water. But my peace is not yours to take back. In Lumina, Lina's life moved forward. The restaurant she opened with Rami flourished. Her sons grew strong, surrounded by love, laughter, and dignity. Taye began a journey of humility. He treated his employees with respect. He started to see people, not just the reflection of himself in a mirror. And the story of Lina and her children, it spread like wildfire across the village. People said, this woman did not fight with hands. She fought with truth. Her victory was quiet, her strength gentle, her dignity unshakable. The morning after Taye's failed wedding, Lumina's sun rose soft and gold, but Taye's heart felt heavy like wet clay. In the grand house he once filled with pride, silence now echoed louder than any drum. He couldn't eat, he couldn't sleep. The clinic report sat on his table like a stubborn stone. Low sperm count, low motility. He had spent 7 years blaming Lina, calling her barren, treating her like a shadow instead of a partner. And now, the truth had slapped him so hard he could barely breathe. Meanwhile, in a small, warm home at the edge of Lumina, Lina's laughter rang freely. Her sons, Jude, Elias, and little Micah, ran around the kitchen, chasing each other and squealing with delight. The smell of spicy rice and stew filled the air. Rami, her husband, smiled, watching her orchestrate this chaos like a conductor of a joyful symphony. Abeg, Lina, slow down, oh, Rami laughed, picking up Micah from the floor. You go tire yourself, oh. I am fine, my love, Lina said, tying her apron. These children, they are life itself. Nothing can shake us. And indeed, nothing could. Not Taye, not pride, not the whispers of the past. Weeks passed. Lina's food stand grew into a proper restaurant. People came from all over Lumina just to taste her cooking. The sign outside bore her name, Lina's Haven. Every plate she served carried a piece of her story: spice, patience, and a quiet triumph that could not be bought. Rami was always there, quietly supporting her, helping with others, listening when she spoke about her dreams, always making sure her heart felt safe. One afternoon, while the children played near the veranda, Rami asked softly, "Lina, have you forgiven him completely?" She paused, looking at her sons. "I forgave him, but my life, my heart, that belongs to me and my family now." Back in the grand house, Taye's world was crumbling. Friends who once flocked to his mansion avoided him. Staff treated him cautiously. The women he courted after Lina left, 3 in 3 years, all left him because his house, once alive with laughter, now echoed emptily. Taye's mother, Mama Rachel, visited him one afternoon. She pressed her hand on his shoulder. "Son, see am now. She was the jewel. You threw her away for pride." Taye looked down, shame like a weight pressing on his chest. "Now I know, Mama. Now I know I destroyed everything that mattered." And then came the news that would forever seal Lina's triumph. One morning, as she prepared the restaurant for the day, Lina felt a strange flutter in her body. Her hands trembled as she ran to the clinic. "Lina?" the nurse asked, surprised to see her so anxious. "Yes," Lina whispered, biting her lip. "Am I?" The nurse smiled wide enough to light up the room. "You are 3 weeks pregnant." Lina's heart leapt. Tears fell, not of sorrow, but of pure joy. When the scan was done, the doctor's eyes widened. "Madam, there are 3 heartbeats. Triplets!" She laughed and cried at the same time. Rami lifted her from the chair, spinning her gently. "We will be parents ×3. Lina clutched her stomach and whispered softly, "Truth has spoken. I am not barren. Life has given overflow instead of silence." News traveled fast. People in Lumina couldn't stop talking. "Is this not Lina? Ah, the woman Taye threw away. 3 sons." Even in the grand halls where Taye once reigned, whispers circled. Pride had been exposed. Truth had arrived, wearing yellow, calm and unshakable. Months later, Taye, humbled and broken, decided to face the consequences of his actions. He walked quietly to Lina's home. His steps were unsure, and every child playing in the yard made him pause. When Lina opened the door, she saw a man who looked smaller than she remembered. He was no longer the peacock, no longer the king. He was just Taye, a man confronting the truth. "Lina," he began, voice trembling, I came to apologize. I was wrong. I blamed you for 7 years. I wore pride like a crown, and it hurt you, truly, deeply." Lina folded her arms, calm but unyielding. "You crushed me, Taye. I forgive you. But my life, my heart, that belongs to me and my family now." He bowed his head, tears falling freely. "I don't deserve forgiveness." She said simply, "You have it, but you do not get my life back. Make peace with that." Taye nodded, understanding finally the weight of his actions. Life in Lumina moved on, but Lina's story became legend. She raised her boys with love and discipline. They learned not just to be strong, but to be gentle men, the kind of men who understand that strength is care, not pride. Rami supported her in every dream. They expanded the restaurant. People came from far towns to eat, to see Lina, to feel inspired by her calm power. Her scars became maps, showing where she had been and how she had returned, stronger than ever. Even Taye learned to change. Slowly, he began to understand humility, accountability, and respect. But Lina's path was no longer his to tread. He had lost the jewel, and the lesson would follow him every day. The ultimate moment came when Lina walked through her restaurant one morning, the smell of stew heavy in the air, the children playing happily on the floor, Rami watching her with pride. She looked around and whispered softly, This is my life, my family, my peace, my truth, and no one, not even pride, not even Taye, can touch it. Outside, Lumina's sun shone like it had never shone before. The market vendors sold their goods, the children ran through the streets, and the village whispered stories of the woman who wore dignity like gold. And somewhere, far away, Taye stood in his empty mansion. He had learned a lesson too late, but he had learned. Pride knocked over her calabash, and truth carried water in hers. Lina's story ended not with vengeance, but with triumph. Not with shouting, but with calm authority. Not with shame, but with overflow. She had walked through fire and come out golden. I beg, my people, you don't see stories like this every day. A woman called Barren becomes a mother of 3. Pride breaks the strong, and truth lifts the gentle. Calm wins over shouting. Patience wins over pain. If you feel Lina's power, if you love stories that inspire, do this now. Like this video. Comment Queen if you love Lina's calm triumph. Subscribe and turn on notifications for more stories like this. Remember, my people, pride fit knock your calabash over, but truth, they carry water. And that's how Lina became the queen of Lumina.